Tonight, updates on two big 8 on Your Side investigations.
Disabled.
Money meant to take care of him vanished.
Was your son's money gone?
Yes.
Part of $100 million lost from special needs trust funds.
And I just feel like that saying the money is the root of all evil, and this statement is true.
They've lost so much. Now they're being targeted. I'm investigator Brittany Muller. Tonight, a warning to keep them from falling victim again.
But first, what she witnessed scarred her for life.
Like, whenever I look back at it, I'm just like, I can't believe that really happened.
Her mother allegedly murdered by her stepfather. Now she's talking to investigator Walt Buteau about that painful day and the decisions that allowed the killer to get away. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. We'll have those stories in a moment, but first, take a look at this. A plane falling from the sky over Brandon this afternoon, captured on video. News Channel 8's Alessandra Young is live for us tonight in Brandon with the story. Hey, Alessandra.
Good evening, Jen. Now, officials say that 2 people actually walked away from this plane crash. You can still see the plane. It's flipped upside down. Now, they have been transported to a local trauma center. Eagle 8 flew over the scene just a little while ago. Hillsborough County Fire Rescue says they got several calls from people just before 3:30 for the upside-down plane with a parachute deployment. Fire and Rescue says they found both people out of the aircraft walking with no hazards involving the plane. Now, it has been turned over to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and as always, we will keep you updated both on air and online as we continue to learn more. Live in Brandon, Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
Thank you, Alessandra. For the first time, the daughter of a Valrico murder victim is talking about witnessing the crime. Her stepfather remains on the run more than a year since he jumped bail.
As 8 on Your Side uncovered, his bond was among the lowest for recent capital murder cases, one of many points of frustration for the victim's family. Investigator Walt Buteau is here tonight with this 8 on Your Side exclusive.
Jen and Keith, the oldest daughter of Heather Toledo, is always looking over her shoulder, and like other members of her family, she still wonders how Enrique Toledo got away. On 4th of July weekend, nearly 2 years ago, in this Valrico home, the Toledo family was ripped apart.
It hurts a lot. I would say you get used to it, but it never goes away.
For the first time since the deadly shooting of Heather Toledo, her daughter talked publicly about the moment she lost her mom.
She literally always lit up every single room. She was so funny, and she loved animals. Literally, we had so many different animals in our house, and I bet if she could, we would have had more. I miss her so much every day.
Enrique Toledo admitted he shot Heather in a 911 call to the sheriff's office. Investigators discovered 2 of the couple's children were in the home at the time. Their 3rd daughter actually saw the shooting.
Honestly, in the moment, you just feel like stuck, like there's nothing that you can do, like nowhere to go. And like whenever I look back at it, I'm just like, I can't believe that really happened.
The case against Toledo would unravel when he jumped bail only months after the shooting, after a complaint from his family that his $150,000 bail was set too low. 8 on Your Side reviewed 3 years of capital murder records. Out of the 126 cases from January 1st, 2020 to the time Toledo took off, bail was set at $150,000 or lower for only 10 defendants. 71, nearly 60% of the accused killers, were held without bail. So Toledo was released with one of the 10 lowest bail amounts from a 3-year period. He was supposed to be monitored with an electronic device similar to this one, but the night before a hearing that could have put him behind bars for contacting his children, he cut off the monitor and ran. It was several hours before authorities knew Toledo was gone.
It's really upsetting to just know that he was out there, and like he could have just been outside of our house and we would have never known. I think he's very capable of hurting other people and hurting other families as well.
Heather's brother and sister-in-law are now raising the Toledo children.
We have not been able to grieve in the greatest way because there's a closure piece that's not there. Because their mother is gone and at the hands of someone else who's out living his best life.
They tell us they will worry until Toledo is caught.
I feel like we're still always looking over our shoulder, making sure that everyone else is okay.
What is it like to have to do that every single day?
It's stressful, just knowing that you could be in danger literally at any moment.
The U.S. Marshals Service is leading the effort to find Enrique Toledo, who's now been on the run for about 16 months.
And he was in trouble before.
Right.
I feel like I remember that from one of your previous reports.
Right. So he was hit with an $11 million judgment in a civil lawsuit involving a death in a nursing home he owned. And we also found out he allegedly forged insurance documents connected to that nursing home. So his family members are not the only ones who are hoping that he is caught at some time in the near future.
All right. Thank you, Walt.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Continued heartbreak for families across the country. Money meant to take care of the most vulnerable disappeared from their trusts at the Center for Special Needs Trust Administration, which is located in St. Petersburg.
The center's founder is accused of taking and not repaying $100 million. So what do the families caught up in this situation need to do right now? 8 on Your Side investigator Brittany Muller is looking into that for us.
Keith, Jen, good evening to you both. If you are a family whose trust has been drained, be cautious. Don't give anyone any sensitive information over the phone, no matter how legitimate it may sound.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
24, disabled.
Jordan Lawrence lives in North Carolina.
I'm the youngest of 5 siblings.
At the age of 11, he had an asthma attack, so he asked his teacher, could he take a break to go to his locker to get his inhaler. She told him no.
Tracy Lawrence says that fateful day in 2011, her son was taken from school to the hospital, where he went into cardiac arrest and into a coma for 3 weeks. What was your son like when he finally woke up?
Even though it was a while ago, that pain still hurts. But throughout the whole time, realizing that his life had changed.
Jordan had suffered brain damage, delayed speech, and a movement disorder. His family filed a lawsuit and secured a settlement and monthly annuity payments for Jordan. That money was put into a trust at the Center for Special Needs Trust Administration in St. Pete at the end of 2013. But 2 months ago, their world shattered again. Jordan and his family learned his trust is missing $30,000.
And I just feel like that saying the money is the root of all evil. And this statement is true.
Tracy Lawrence received this notice from the center days after it filed for bankruptcy in February. According to the bankruptcy filing between 2009 and 2020, the center's founder, Leo Gavani, got the center to loan $100 million to his company, Boston Finance Group. The center claims its board didn't find out about the alleged loan until 2022, but right after the center filed for bankruptcy, that same board resigned. The Lawrence family, like the hundreds of others with drained trust, feel they've been left in the dark.
I really feel like it needs to be some different laws put in place to protect the families.
We keep hearing from families like the Lawrences, and we will keep telling their stories. There is movement in this case, and we know there is something now called an Unsecured Creditors Committee to help families navigate all the things that will come next. I'll have more on that committee and what it means for families like Jordan's tomorrow on News Channel 8 at 6.
Yeah, with these families going through so much, and you mentioned they're frozen, the money, they can't even access what little they have left that's still in there. And they also have to be concerned about schemes that are out there. There's always somebody else ready to take advantage of them.
Of course, and that's something that they have to be on the lookout for. This is a case of high visibility. We've learned there are people calling these victims, trying to get their personal and sensitive information. Don't fall for it. Notices are now being sent out to warn these families. So that's definitely something to be on the lookout for.
All right. Thank you, Brittany. And if you have something you'd like 8 on Your Side to investigate, you can call the 8 on Your Side helpline, 1-800-338-0808.
Police say they have arrested all 5 suspects involved in an Easter shooting in St. Petersburg that injured 4 people. The final 2 turned themselves in last night. Police say those men have ties to local rapper Rod Wave, whose real name is Rodarius Green. He was also initially arrested but released. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers joins us now live in St. Petersburg with more on this continuing developing story.
Jen, so in the state of Florida, felons cannot have guns or even just ammo. So being that Green had been previously charged with a felony, St. Pete police arrested him for possessing ammunition. But here's the catch. He may have been previously charged with a felony, but he was never convicted.
The arrest was completely invalid from the start.
One of the attorneys representing local rapper Rodarius Green, better known as Rod Wave, is speaking out, saying Green was arrested based on inaccurate information, then released hours later.
He was arrested based solely upon the sworn statement of a St. Pete police officer stating that he was a convicted felon and was in possession of ammunition. He is, in fact, not a convicted felon.
So how did that happen? Yolanda Fernandez with St. Pete Police says it all started when investigators tried to arrest 3 suspects involved in an Easter shooting that left 4 people wounded and cars riddled with bullet holes.
When they got there, it's the middle of the night, and there's another person there. It happens to be Rod Green.
She says because Green wasn't a part of the initial warrants police planned to make arrests on, the detectives called to get more information.
So at that point, the detectives will check back with the Emergency Communication Center to find out what's in Rod Green's background and whether or not his presence there, points to any kind of charges.
Fernandez says that's where the mistake was made.
There was an error made in the information that was given to the detective at the scene, and that's why Mr. Green was taken into custody and initially charged with 1 charge. He was immediately released as soon as it was deemed that that was an inaccurate charge because he's not a convicted felon.
But police say this investigation is far from over, and they are now processing those guns to see if they could be tied to any other crimes. And we already know that that BMW is being tied to more than just this Easter shooting. Live in St. Pete, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.
Thank you, Nicole. Almost everywhere you go, there is a camera watching.
But cameras using facial recognition software caused some real pushback in one Bay Area city. The big decision whether to switch them off coming up.
Plus, we have chosen this year's Remarkable Woman still ahead. We'll tell you how she's working to make a difference for all of us here in the Bay Area.
Plus, coming up in sports, the Bucs' newest pass rusher tells us why he'll be able to help the defense next season.
And it was a beautiful day in the Bay Area, but that big storm in the Northeast, over a foot of snow in New England, the cold air on the backside is pushing south, so even colder air is on the way. I'll have your neighborhood numbers. We'll talk about the weekend when we return.
And join us this weekend for the 33rd annual News Channel 8 Outdoors Expo and Boat Show at Armature Works in Tampa. Browse the exhibits and enjoy plenty of fun, family-friendly events, and lots of News Channel 8 on-air personalities will be there too. The Outdoor Expo and Boat Show tomorrow from noon to 6, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6, and Sunday from 10 to 5.
You're watching News Channel 8 at 6, Tampa Bay's most watched 6 p.m. newscast.
The Lakeland Downtown Development Authority has decided to switch off the facial recognition software on its surveillance cameras to avoid a lawsuit. The LDDA recently enabled the feature on its new cameras in hopes of spotting people who have acted aggressively or threatened downtown workers. But only 3 faces were loaded into the system, and that's when the ACLU threatened to sue. Today, they released a statement that was praising this decision, saying in part, this kind of AI surveillance camera network would have given the government a truly unprecedented power to identify and track us as we go about our daily lives.
Yay! Come on in, come on in. You are our remarkable woman. Oh my goodness. So that's 2024 WFLA Remarkable Woman winner, Dr. Hillary Stockton. She was chosen from a field of more than 100 other remarkable women contestants. And in addition to the honor, she won $1,000 for her chosen charity. Dr. Stockton is an oceanographer for the U.S. Geological Survey and heads up the USGS Coastal and Marine Hazards and Resources Program. Her work helps recognize risks to the U.S. coastline from hurricanes and severe weather. Dr. Stockton told me she also mentors other female scientists, hoping to foster a positive work environment she wasn't always afforded. Was there ever a point where you thought or were discouraged because you were a girl?
Oh, certainly.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. There were definitely times in graduate school or just, moving professionally through this field that feel a little bit challenged.
But man, she showed them, didn't she? Dr. Stockton will soon be on her way to Hollywood, California for the Next Star National Remarkable Woman Contest, where she has a chance to win $10,000 for charity. Congratulations to her, to all of our contestants, our 4 finalists who you see there. Some really great ladies doing incredible work across the Bay Area.
Yeah, congratulations to her. And that was a heck of a check. You had to hold that thing up.
I know. It was
Herculean task there.
It was no joke, but I mean, certainly well deserved. Her charity of choice was the Surfrider Foundation, which protects oceans, waves, beachfronts.
That's wonderful. Nancy Ryan, who's the executive producer, and she handled this story. She just spoke such volumes about this woman. So just want to say congratulations. She just keeps talking about it. So I really got to kind of dig in and figure.
She is doing some great work. Created an equation that's named after her.
That's
science, my friend. You should check it out.
I love science. So let's do a little bit of science right now and talk about the weather forecast. Storm system in the northeast drilling down a lot of cold air. I mean, cold for us, but it's very cold up there. 1 to 2 feet of snow in New England. It's April, but some of that chilly air is going to break free and move our way. So it'll be cool overnight tonight, if not chilly, depending upon where you are. In Polk County, in Lakeland, it's 72, but you're headed down to 50 for an overnight low. Right now, the northwest wind at 15 miles an hour. It's nice and comfortable when the sun is out. It's also very dry. We have very low humidity. But when the sun is not out, and it's dark, it starts to get chilly, so make sure you grab a sweater and a jacket when you head out the door. When you wake up in Spring Hill tomorrow morning around 53, but Wesley Chapel, you're headed down to about 50 on the nose. Across Pinellas County, about 60, 62 Clearwater, 59 in Largo. You head across the Bay Area bridges and it cools down. Lithia, you're headed to around 50 degrees. Inland parts of Manatee County around 53. Sarasota County along the coast about 59 in Sarasota. Here we are in Polk County, about 50 everywhere. Bartow about 50 degrees tomorrow morning, and Wauchula about 50 as well. All right, so hour by hour forecast, bright sunshine tomorrow, northwesterly wind driving in the dryer, but also the cool air. Despite that, because the sun is so strong this time of year, we're not going to get to normal, but we will see high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, about 75 in Lutz and Tampa, about 77 degrees Lake Wales, Bradenton around 78. The normal high is 81, so we're going to be a few degrees below normal again during the day tomorrow. If you headed to the beach, just watch out because we still have a breeze off the Gulf of Mexico, so high surf, rip currents will be present, and the UV index is going to be very high, 10, so make sure you put the sunscreen on. If you headed to Clearwater Beach, it's going to be a great day on the beach, 73. Bright sunshine. It'll be pleasant for the Sugar Sand Festival. So here comes the secondary front later tomorrow and tomorrow night. So it's another shot of cooler air. So Saturday morning is even cooler and Sunday morning is even cooler than that. We'll see bright sunshine on Saturday afternoon. It'll be nice and milder on Sunday afternoon, about 79. So we're getting close to 80. Then we will surpass 80 degrees on Monday. So the cooler air is going to move out later Sunday, and then warmer air is with us all next week. But that rain, that doesn't get here until the end of the week. So we're going to be dry straight through about the end of Thursday. So it's quite a long stretch, about a week or so of dry conditions across the area with no rain. It's going to be cool the next couple of mornings in the 50s. Then we see a rebound in temperatures. And as far as high temperatures during the day, notice it's in the 70s the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then back up in the mid-80s by the middle of next week. And by the way, join us at Armature Works for the Outdoors Expo. Starts tomorrow, beautiful sunshine. Saturday is actually the coolest day at 73. Sunday, we're up to 79 during the afternoon. Again, no rain in the forecast this weekend, and it stays rain-free as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and again on Wednesday. The humidity is going to build. The warmth will build as well with highs in the mid-80s, and then a chance of rain by the end of next week. That's your weather forecast. Now here's a look at what's coming up on News Nation.
Be a part of history with News Nation's special live coverage of the Great American Eclipse. From Texas to Maine, News Nation is with you, counting down to totality. With Brian Ensign and our team all across America. Monday starting at 9/8 Central, only on News Nation.
And you can find News Nation by going to one of the channels you see there on your screen. Dan Lucas is coming up next, though. Stay with us for that. He has sports.
Well, brand new Bucs outside linebacker Randy Gregory spoke today about his reunion with George Edwards, his new position coach, who happens to be his old position coach from his days with the Dallas Cowboys. The relationship and experience goes beyond just fitting in a defensive scheme. Gregory said today he has no expectations on playing time, nor what he will be asked to do. He's seen just about everything you can in 8 NFL seasons, and it's his versatility that should get him on the field often.
You know, I could play inside, outside, you know, on third down, things like that. Stand up, put my hand down in the dirt. So, you know, to be able to play kind of in a 3-4-4-3 scheme, do a couple different things there, dropping coverage. This is all stuff I've done.
All right, the Lightning's Nikita Kucherov set a new standard last night. He broke his own franchise record for points in a season on that pass there to Braden Point in a win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Cooch enters tonight's game with 130 points, and who knows how many more he can rack up.
I still can be a lot better, and, you know, a lot of guys in this road can be a lot better, and, you know, hopefully we will be better.
I get to stand there every night, and I hope other people watch. Like, just how uniquely talented he is. It's he's a marvel to watch, and in a big game we needed, he was unreal.
So it's become a 3-horse race for this Art Ross Trophy. Kucherov leads Colorado's Nathan MacKinnon by 3 points, Edmonton's Connor McDavid by 4. Kuch and McKinnon have 7 games to play. McDavid has 8. So those are the numbers there. It seems like Kucherov's capable of 3 or 4 a night. And
yeah, when he's hot, he can.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So that 128 points that was his record was that 2019 season that we've kind of put in the rearview mirror because the playoffs didn't go so well. But just to show you how awesome that Lightning offense was, he has now surpassed that this season.
Incredible.
Let's
Good for him.
Let's hope that postseason goes better than the other.
It should.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yes. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. NBC Nightly News is coming up next.
And we'll see you back here tonight for News Channel 8 at 11. Good night.